RJ Barrett's story, up until he reaches the NBA, is really the story of a future Hall of Famer. In high school, he was considered the best player in his class, and then even when he was classified, he still was considered the best player in his class. He was the most accomplished high school basketball player since LeBron James. He was a Geico national champion his senior year at Montverde, and he would play at Duke University, which is one of the most popular colleges in the world. And while he played alongside Zion Williamson, who was the guy on the team, OJ was great in his own right. He averaged 22.6 points a game at Duke and was a first-team All-American. And he was the third overall pick in the 2019 NBA draft by the New York Knicks. However, in the NBA, he's been a bit of a mystery. He did average 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists per game as a rookie, but the efficiency was terrible, and there were plenty of red flags when you watched him play. Today I want to talk about the problems with RJ Barrett, what he can improve on, what I think his ceiling, his floor, and the realistic outcome for his career is. But before we get into today's video, if you haven't already, feel free to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I release a video. I upload a video really whenever I can. I try to get one up every Friday or so, sometimes on Mondays and Wednesdays as well. We'll see how things go. I'm not really consistent with my schedule. If you haven't noticed already, there's been a big change in my subscriber count. I went from 590 subscribers to 3,000 subscribers at the time of this recording. And I want to thank Jacob, you may know him as RustyBuckets, for this. He gave me a shout out in his most recent video. I've known Jacob for a long time. He's somebody that, he really reached out to me when I had less than 100 subscribers. We've kind of been friends for a little while now. And he gave me a shout out, and it boosted my channel massively. And so if you're new here, and if you're coming from his channel, welcome. I make videos about basketball. I already thanked Jacob more than 100 times for this, and thank you for all these new people for giving me a chance. And I know, because shout outs are weird, some people do it to be nice, and I watched what Jacob said, and it meant a lot to me. So thank you to him, and thank you to you guys for giving me a chance. But with that being said, let's get right into the video. The first problem with RJ Barrett is his shooting. His mid-range numbers his rookie season were not good. His free throw numbers weren't good his rookie season either. He was solid off the catch, and I will give him credit. His three-point shooting wasn't great, but he showed improvement throughout the year, and 32% for a guy that wasn't considered a good shooter coming out of college, considering the volume he was taking at as a rookie, is pretty good. He will need to improve as a shooter though, because in order to become a star at the wing position, especially in the modern NBA, you do need to be able to shoot, and he will need to improve on that. He's not a non-factor, I would say. He's not someone I would say you could leave open. He's very capable of hitting them, but at the same time, the numbers reflect a not good shooter, and when you watch the tape, he doesn't look like a good shooter either. RJ is a good slasher, despite what the numbers may suggest. I think the lower numbers around the rim, field goal percentage wise, have a lot to do with the spacing on the team from his rookie year. He does draw fouls at a good rate as well, and this is why he does need to improve on his free throw shooting, because if you can get to the line a lot, what good is it if you aren't hitting them at a super high rate? So again, that's something that we'll need to improve, because drawing contact is great, and he's great at doing it, but at the same time, if you can't deliver at the line, what's the point of drawing the contact? And I think improving his free throw percentage will help him a lot, because he's a really good slasher. That's something he was known as coming out of college, and he's shown that in the NBA despite what the numbers are saying. He will need to improve his ability to drive right. He's a very left-hand dominant player, even though he isn't left-handed. I saw the picture of him. Anyone that's saying that they're naturally left-handed or using chopsticks with the right hand are lying. So there is that as well. But slashing he's really good, but I think he can become an elite slasher. I think he has that kind of potential if he improves his ability to drive right, and he improves his free throw percentage. So, the ability to draw fouls is being used more properly, and it's becoming a more productive thing. Because again, if you aren't shooting well from the line, what's the point of drawing the foul? RJ is a very good passer. He has very good vision. He plays well on the pick and roll. And the thing is, though, despite him having these skills, he struggles mightily with tunnel vision. He's a guy that will see someone open and know he probably should make the pass, but not make the pass because he's just dead set on trying to score. The best way I can describe RJ as a playmaker is a genius with ADD. Okay, maybe not that, but a better way actually to describe it would be Mr. K from Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. Mr. K in his duel against Yuma was clearly very smart, but was dead set on one strategy, and in the end that cost him the duel. RJ has all the skills, but the tunnel vision will hold him back and ultimately might prevent him from reaching his ceiling. He needs to learn how to balance scoring and passing. It's something that I saw in Mikey Williams, who's another very young, talented player that has all the skill in the world, but needs to find that balance of facilitating and scoring. I think RJ does need to improve on his tunnel vision more than his shooting, because tunnel vision can have an impact on passing and efficiency. Because if you don't have as much tunnel vision, you're going to make better decisions. Making better decisions means you aren't going to take as many tough shots, and not taking as many tough shots in general will just improve your efficiency. While with shooting, if he becomes a better shooter, it will impact his efficiency, but it won't affect his passing the same way that, improving on his tunnel vision will. I think realistically, the ceiling for RJ Barrett is a DeMar DeRozan type player, a guy that can put up, 20 to 25 points a game, 5+ rebounds, 5+ assists, while being the best guy, or at least the most productive guy on a 45 to 50 win playoff team. But realistically, on a contender, that player would be more close to a second or third option. I don't think he'll ever be the main player on a contender like that. And quite honestly, that's okay, because there aren't many players in the league that can be the best player on a contender. And there's only like 6, 7, maybe 8 of those guys. And it's okay not to be that, because there's a lot of other players in the NBA that are still great despite not being that. Of course, him reaching the ceiling will be a part of the idea of him improving as a shooter and a decision maker. I think RJ has a higher floor as a player than most probably do. I think he's somebody that at worst will be a 10 to 15 point per game scorer off the bench. Whether that's on a contender, whether it's on a bad team, that's got to be seen. But I do think he has a place in this league as a scorer. Now, the reason why I believe this is because of his mentality and his wiring as a player. You can listen to his interviews, you can see the way he carries himself both on and off the court, and you can just tell this guy wants to be great. And you also can tell that he has a great work ethic. This is somebody that when I watch him, I'm like, okay, this is somebody that has the mindset of an all-time great. Now, will we ever be that? That's yet to be seen. Based off what I've seen so far, maybe, maybe not. It's hard to say, because he's only in his second season. Him becoming one of the greatest to ever play, it's not out of the cards, but I wouldn't bet on it. But I do think he's going to be in the league for a long time and be a very good player. You can say this, and this is something I believe. Wiring as a player, mentality, and work ethic and drive to be great can change the trajectory of a player's career. It can take somebody that I think doesn't have a high ceiling and push them to heights that I never thought they could reach. And I think it could be very possible that RJ Barrett becomes that kind of player. It's also very possible that he doesn't become that kind of player. But regardless, I think he's going to be good. But that is the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. I know we have a lot of new faces around here. I've gained a lot of subscribers over the past day. More than I've gained over the past year and a half doing YouTube. So welcome, guys. Thank you if you made it to this point. Thank you to Rusty or Jacob for giving me that shout out. It meant a lot to me, and it helped me past, because at the time of this, I'm at 3,000, almost 4,000 subscribers, and that's almost 4 goals that I've set for myself over the next few years that all of a sudden I've passed now because of that shout out. So thank you so much. And thank you to everyone for giving me a chance. Let me know in the comment section below, how good do you think RJ Barrett will be? You know, what's his ceiling? What's his floor? Will he ever be an all-star? Just let me know that stuff down below. I'd love to hear that stuff. Like, subscribe, do all those things. Hit notification bell to be notified whenever I release a video. But with that being said, have a nice day.